Alright guys, welcome back to another reaction video. Today we are going to react to something rather important to me, because, you know, I'm a Pokemon fan, and yeah, this video is about Pokemon Go. Link to the original channel and the original video in the description. They updated the terms of service, and it's supposed to be really bad. I dropped that game after they, made the, what is it, the avatar disaster, where every avatar started to look like an androgynous blob, and they were helped by a consultation firm, company, whatever you want to call it, called Gamer X, which is a horrible company. Because it's in a similar vein of Sweet Baby Inc. So yeah, probably that's the reason why the avatars looked absolutely horrendous. And they updated the terms of service. I'm interested in what these terms of service are now. I dropped the game. I will come back to the game when they rerun the Shiny Meltan event, because I still need one Shiny Meltan. That's the only reason I'm gonna play the game. I removed all Pokemon from Pokemon Go to a bank back then. Yeah, let's take a look. Let's take a look.
Fair warning, this might make you want to quit Pokemon Go. Every site and app
I already quit, bro.
Lengthy terms of service you've never read and quickly scroll to the bottom of to agree.
Yeah,
But today we're going to read through one of them, because Niantic, the developers behind Pokemon Go,
what do they want my soul?
Service, and there's kind of
we own you, okay.
It's important to know if you decline this new terms of service when you log into the game and are faced with the pop-up, it'll kick you out of Pokemon Go. You can't play without agreeing to this. And because I'm not a lawyer, we're going to use this doc decoder and Niantic terms of service.
So what I'm going to do is,
so thank you to the Reddit people for this.
When
speaking, this is what was changed in the
when Meltan appears again as a shiny, I will get it. And I will transfer it over, and then I will delete my Pokemon Go account permanently.
Without notice if you breach the terms. Which means Pokemon Go basically reserves the right to, like, ban you if they find out you're cheating or breaking.
Yeah, it makes sense, huh?
That's video game stuff. Here's the one that everyone is going crazy about. If you go into the official Niantic Terms of Service, underneath number 1, Terms, there's this big block of bold text saying that, please be aware that Section 13 contains provisions governing how to resolve disputes between you and Niantic. Among other things, Section 13 includes an agreement arbitration with... Okay, but the important part of the thing is this. You're basically waiving your right to participate in a class action lawsuit against Niantic, or a class-wide arbitration. Over the years, a lot of things have happened due to Pokemon Go, players getting in car accidents, or...
Wait, did I understand that correctly? Does that mean that when you click accept these terms of service, you cannot go into a legal dispute with Niantic? That's already horrendous.
2016 or 2017 Pokemon Go Fest, where players showed up, the game didn't work, lawsuits were filed against Niantic, and they had to pay out. So
that was based.
The terms of service, if you agree to this and play our game, you can't sue us. We are invincible.
What are these terms of service already?
Unless you opt out of the agreement to arbitrate within 30 days, you will only be permitted to pursue disputes or claims and seek relief against us on an individual basis, not as a plaintiff or class member in any class or representative action or proceeding.
You accepted our terms of service.
In a class action lawsuit.
You can sue us.
And number 2, you are waiving your right to pursue disputes or claims and seek relief in a court of law and to have a jury trial. They are
your human rights. Hand them over.
Literally signing your rights away to a trial jury, which is like
your human rights. Hand them over.
The nice thing here is the start of this. Unless you opt out of the agreement to arbitrate within 30 days, which means when you click agree, you can technically opt out. I'm gonna put a screenshot on screen right now. Big shout out to Stephanie Meth on Twitter who shared this. You send an email out to service@support.nianticlabs.com. The link for that or the email will be.
Which means I have a mission. Once Meltan is back.
So again, thank you to Stephanie, and that's how you get.
I will have to accept the terms of service.
Company protecting themselves in their terms of service. Every company.
Well, technically, I'm deleting the account after that, so it doesn't really matter.
Just crazy. Just giving.
Can you even delete accounts?
Sue them.
I don't know.
Is kind of crazy. The crazier part is that they can.
Yeah, your human rights. Hand them over.
Like, they can just put that in there, and then people will mindlessly agree to it, and like you lose that right. Like that's the crazier part. That this is.
When you accept the terms of service, this is another case. Read them. You may not like reading them, but please read them.
Even allowed. Like, wow. So know that that's
if there's anything you don't agree with,
no refunds for
don't accept them. Move on.
Once purchased, which means if you buy things like raid passes, you cannot get a refund for it. I will say Niantic historically has been pretty decent at refunding players when like things don't work. Like when the raid pass glitch was happening and you would use a raid pass and it would disappear.
Yeah, hopefully that still counts.
Typically, if you reach out to Niantic support, they will refund you for that. I'm assuming this is just basically them saying that like,
well, I don't know how that functions legally, but if you accept those terms of service and you can't sue them and they fuck something up when you buy something and you ask for a refund and they refuse to refund you, can you legally still try and sue them? That's the interesting thing. Hey, somebody want to test that out?
Like, we don't have to if we don't want to, basically. There's also something to be said here about the fact that this game constantly breaks, you know? And it's like...
Yes, it does.
Fault that it's breaking, you know?
It does not only break, it also makes horrendous decisions.
Right? Recently, there was an issue with, I think, one of the GoFest raid days for Global, and they're doing a makeup raid day. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not going to stop doing that. They just don't have to. Niantic can employ mechanisms to detect and respond to cheating, including checking your device for unauthorized software. Cheating in video games is a very hard subject, and it's very hard to block.
Yeah.
The fact that Niantic's solution here is, well, we're just going to sign...
So they can look into your phone and check everything. So they can make sure you don't cheat. Sounds a bit Chinese to me.
Right away to your privacy so that we can create technology to enter into your phone and search around your phone for unauthorized software.
What the hell, dude? Yeah, never mind. Meltan can go fuck himself. Doesn't matter.
Allowed to log into your phone and look at
this is horrendous. What are they thinking?
Again, the fact that they're allowed to do that. And
somebody hit up the Pokemon Company.
And a clause in a contract. That's crazy. Niantic is not liable for any damages or losses resulting from the use of the services. Make sense? Niantic can change or remove virtual money or virtual goods at any time without liability. Niantic owns the game, right? Like, they create all of the assets. The monetary economy in the game isn't real. It's manufactured by them. So theoretically, for them to be able to just go in and take things in and like move stuff around, like, kind of makes sense. Like, it's their game, right? The problem is that players pay money, bro. Like, pay money to do these things and get stuff, and the fact that they can just go in and take it away.
So let's just assume I buy 200 Pokecoins. They can just go in and take 100. Technically. Yeah. Sounds reasonable.
Without any liability, like without any reason, that's a little crazy. But again, it kind of makes sense. It's just a little unfortunate. I kind of flash back to the black and white Kyurem situation where players accidentally got the brand new black and white Kyurem in their account from PvP, and Niantic just went in, plucked the Kyurem out, and that was kind of the end of it. So it makes sense, but like, Niantic can use your data
that's
for
kind of,
oh
yeah, sure, but
parties. I am under the...
On the other hand, I think this also goes for any live service game. If you fuck up and you give people too much currency, that is on you. The players should not be punished by your failures. That is my take on this. So no, they should have not taken away the Black Kyurem.
People who kind of thinks Niantic farms data and like sells it. My whole thing with the remote raid pass nerf was they're not getting any of your location data if you're sitting at home playing using remote raid passes. So to nerf the remote raid passes forces you outside so that they can farm more of your location data. Killing remote raid passes was the worst decision they've ever made, especially
absolutely.
It didn't make any sense.
during COVID, that was insane. That made life so much easier. It was a huge help for people that lived in remote places, in like difficult rural areas. It was a huge help for people who are disabled. Fuck that up.
To their investors, it didn't make any sense to their players. It made no sense. The only reason why it would make sense is if there was a
they could, if remote raid passes were in the game and they were buyable, they could have made insane money. Insane. But yeah, like you will say, there are probably some people behind the scenes who ask for location data.
Working towards that remote raid passes were getting in the way of
China.
More profitable than what the remote raid passes were, because they were very profitable. Niantic is a for-profit company, and they've raised money. They have investors. They have to be profitable. It's how this works.
Insane.
So that didn't make any sense. So when that nerf happened, I was like, oh, dude, location data. Like, they're definitely farming that into sound like
terrible. That is horrendous.
They have pretty much denied that every time they've been asked.
They can deny it as much as they want. It's pretty obvious that they do.
And podcasts and like,
God, I hate this company. I hate them.
Location data or your data. But with this new clause, they now can, and they can share it with third parties. By share, that means
holy.
So maybe this was part of the plan all along. If I want to put my conspiracy hat on,
the tinfoil hat.
Passes, let some time go by to let people sort of forget about it.
Okay. Yeah, this is an awful company.
Walking around and sell it. That would be
I'm never playing that game ever again.
Raid passes would be, because data is way more profitable than any sort of in-game sales. So from a business perspective, it would make a lot of sense to do this. Obviously, from like a player and moral perspective.
From a moral perspective, this is horrible.
What I just said is not confirmed. That's just my theory. But again, they now legally can do that. Niantic can refuse admission or remove you from events without refund for non-compliance with terms or misconduct. Hey man, frick around and find out, you know? Break the rules and
yeah, makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. Obviously, that's normal.
And data for promotional purposes without compensation. This, as a content creator, as someone for the last decade who has built a brand and made my name and likeness my job and my career, and I sell it to pay my bills, the fact that me agreeing to their terms of service means that they can use pictures and videos of me in their promotional content and not compensate.
That is like me stealing thumbnails and then not give like not mention the people that I use the thumbnails from at all. They can now make money off of you as a content creator, and you get nothing from that.
For it is insane. That is like, that's like my career gone, you know?
What the fuck are they doing over there?
Like for like paid opportunities and stuff, but the fact that they can just like pull my stuff and do it, you know?
They can literally take his face and put it on a promotional material now.
Or what you pay people for is using their likeness and their data.
That is horrendous.
Because promotional purposes, that's marketing. Companies have major marketing budgets to be able to pay for things like this, but now, by agreeing to this clause, the players of Pokemon Go can be farmed for their likeness and farmed for their data in order to use for...
You can literally be farmed. Insane.
How is that allowed? Sid, what are your thoughts as a content creator that they put this in the terms?
I think that's shady. I have more strong words, but I won't say them.
Will you shady?
I think that's shady.
Shady it is. Thank you. Niantic is not responsible for third-party websites or resources linked through the services. That makes sense.
Yep, obviously.
They don't own
no issue here.
Pokemon Go Hub, right? So if like Pokemon Go Hub does some crazy stuff, like,
no issue here. Really not an issue
associated with attending or participating in events. Fair enough. I feel like, you know, like this is kind of how it is. When you go to an event, you definitely always like sign your life away at events. That's like anything.
True.
Niantic can change event features or cancel events without compensation. You can.
What the fuck? What the hell?
pay for an event. You pay your real world money for an event, and they can just cancel it and not pay you back. What?
Reminds me of Niji Sanji. The cancellation of the what was it?
She just ran into a wall because this is so crazy. Again,
the concert.
Because this game is so expensive to play. It is not a free-to-play.
It's
game.
insane.
It's expensive. Tickets, you have to pay for tickets to play events, and then you have to pay for.
This is why I also dropped the game.
Lucky eggs you buy.
I cannot be free-to-play in that game.
Features. This is a really expensive game, but again, there's no tangible goods. So if Niantic sells you something that is fake and it doesn't work, it breaks or it's canceled, and they have to refund it, they don't lose anything tangible. Sure, there's man hours and there's server power on the back end, but that's not like losing a tangible.
Insane. Insane.
The fact that like I can buy a GoFest ticket and then they can just cancel the event and keep the money is nuts. That's nuts.
Yeah, I'm not downloading the game ever again. Never mind.
Result in denied entry. Makes sense. Niantic can terminate inactive accounts after a
Yeah,
period
makes
of
sense.
activity. This one kind of sucks, but it makes sense because inactive accounts just kind of take up server space. But the reason why this sucks and the reason why I think this is so bad for the game, and I mean, God, man, I want to love this game, you know? I do love this game. The game's
I don't think you can love this game with terms of services like that.
3 years are shockingly poor. Niantic can terminate inactive
It's a
accounts
moral
after
question at this
activity.
point.
Why would they do this? Inactive accounts take up server space, and server space costs money. This saves them money. This is a financial decision, probably to offset the raid passes. Wink, wink. Just bring those back. Fixes everything, except for the data that they're farming. The reason why I think the account termination is the worst idea ever is because as someone who plays Pokemon Go and makes YouTube content on Pokemon Go all the time, I have people coming up to me in person or commenting on videos, hey, I quit for 4 years, 5 years, 3 years, and I just got back into the game. I saw an ad. My friend started playing.
Yeah, that's the issue. Assume that you play the game for 3 years, then you stop. 2 years later, you play again because you got interested again.
Because it's not something you need to play every single day.
Then you have to redo everything. You wouldn't play again.
Back a year or two later, it's like Clash of Clans and Clash Royale. Like it's just like a never-ending, always updating. There's always new stuff game, so you can always pick it up and put it down. This is a crazy decision because so many players don't play for a while and then come back. So
that's the same with gacha games. I'm through with Wuthering Waves. I'm not gonna play until 1.2. Then I'll play 1.2. Then I'm not going to play until 1.3, and so on and so forth.
Of players being able to come back, that's going to
this is awful.
Someone's motivation to play. They're not going to play if their old account and all their progress is gone. The question is, how much time has to go by before the account is terminated? Is it a year of inactivity? Is it 5 years? You know,
do they state?
And I'm sure they have data on the back end that's showing them, okay, players over 5 years without inactivity have like a 5% return rate. So it makes sense for us mathematically to delete accounts after 5 years because 5% of people coming back makes us less money than the server space that it's taking up, right? So I'm sure there's a calculated.
Honestly, they just straight up send out an email, like so much time until your account gets erased. I think that would be a great solution.
They did math on this, and I hope it is like 10 years of inactivity with like a 5%, 2%, 1% return rate, delete those accounts, call it a day.
Because is Pokemon Go even 10 years old?
It's gonna, I don't know. That's just makes sense. I hope there's math. Niantic can use your data for emergency notifications and public event leaderboards. Going back into the whole like Niantic being able to use your data, again, they have denied again and again and again that they use and sell your data, but they might have been doing that up until this point where now they have all of the legal rights.
Well, now they can officially do it, so they probably already did it.
States that they can use data of yours, like it's just a red flag. I will say, the public event leaderboards. Okay, dude, I came from Clash of Clans, right? I came from Clash of Clans. The most fun thing for me in Clash of Clans was pushing up the leaderboards as a lower.
Well, that's fine. Like the leaderboards part is okay. Is a-okay.
And I got up into the top 200. It was crazy. You know?
Yeah, but still awful.
Leaderboards is something that like,
this stuff is still all awful
since this game came out in 2016. And I've always thought would be a really, really fun way.
Yeah, 2016. It's not even 10 years old. So your game doesn't make much sense.
That we might have those in the future, that's really exciting. The fact that it comes at the cost of all of our data, doesn't feel like it's reasonable. Niantic's not
Events,
liable
trade
for
your
any damages
data.
resulting from third-party services affecting your use of the services. Makes sense.
Yeah.
They own Verizon. If it goes out, it's not their fault. Niantic can refuse. Well, you know, there is a thing to be said about like if they're hosting a huge event and they don't prepare accordingly, but they've been really good about that, and all of the in-person events lately have been fantastic.
Yeah,
Niantic
but
can
the terms of
refuse
service
admission or
suck.
remove minors from events without a parent or guardian. Okay, that makes sense. I guess, you know, like if
Yeah.
they're like wandering around, like they don't want to be liable for that, you know, like.
Yeah, sure, makes sense. It's
Niantic
fine.
can use your feedback and analytic data collected during beta programs without compensation. So this is like one or two things. Playtesting exists where developers pay people to play a video game and give feedback and to collect data. But also, too, gaming development studios will put betas out so that the public can play it and like give feedback, and the developers can collect data and then use it to.
I don't know.
There's like two sides of that, but it makes sense. Niantic can change or remove any virtual money or virtual goods without liability. That's insane. So if you bought like 100 Pokecoins and they see the value of Pokecoins, like. So what? That's another thing that we've been saying a lot in Pokemon Go over the last couple of years is like the value of things have kind of gone down, primarily when talking about the boxes, the special boxes in the shop. But it shows that they're not, they're fine with letting the value in-game sink. So, if they can change or remove any virtual money or virtual goods without liability. This also means that if you buy Pokecoins, they can technically just remove them from your account without having to pay you back for them. Not that they'd actually do this,
What the fuck?
Do this towards people,
These motherfuckers are so greedy.
And remember, you can't sue them, so there's that. Niantic can use your data for demonstration, promotion, and advertising of services. This is again, this is basically saying that Niantic can take your data, they can farm data off of you in all of these creative different ways, and then use that to demonstrate certain things to shareholders, potential investors, promote the game to these people.
I love money.
Advertising of services, like that's literally like
what made you led to you making this decision? Money.
They're like profiting off of that, or selling advertisers on advertising. Billions of dollars, probably millions, hundreds of millions maybe, off of advertising without having to compensate anybody for the data that they're
This
using.
is Niantic for you.
More verbiage that's basically like Niantic's taking your data and using it to like make money. So Niantic can terminate your
pretty
account
much
for suspected fraud, cheating, or misuse of content or services. This makes sense. Like they can ban you. And then on this summary, it goes into some other points. Niantic can modify the terms at any time, and continued use implies acceptance of changes, which means they can always change the rules of these terms and always add in more verbiage that gives them more power, essentially. You must use the services at your own risk and be aware.
Wait, does it mean that they can change the services that you have already accepted, and then you still have to accept them? Like, they're not just gonna ask you to re-accept the terms of service if they changed something. Did I answer that correctly?
Certain country-specific terms apply, blah, 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 blah. And then there's some perks here at the bottom, some green thumbs up, which we do like. You can opt out of the arbitration agreement within 30 days.
Yeah,
so again,
that's
send
good.
That email, I'd recommend it. It also says down here, Niantic respects intellectual property rights and complies with the DMCA process. This is the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, which basically is like protecting people with copyrighted work. So in all technicality, I'm pretty sure the DMCA Act like protects me and other content creators from
makes sense.
ripping our videos and using it to profit off of, because technically our videos are copyrighted under YouTube terms, I think. I don't know. There's so many freaking terms of service. But I don't think it has anything to do with your data. So the fact that they, the fact that they comply with the DMCA process, I'm not sure if that makes a huge difference for individuals. And that's what's going on with the brand new Niantic terms of service for Pokemon Go. It's kind of crazy. Now, my opinion is a little bit harsh just because I've played this game for 8 years. And I'm frustrated with the developers as a whole right now. So
it's awful. Dare I say, it's awful.
More positive. If you did, please share it down below, or share your total unfiltered opinions as well. Thank you guys for watching. Oh my god. See you in the next. Fair warning,
this is awful. My recommendation is remove all your if you don't agree with the terms of services. Remove all your Pokemon, delete your Pokemon Go account. Gone. Bye. Reduced to atoms. These are probably the worst terms of services I have read in a long while. This is insane. These are awful terms. They can essentially use everything from you. They can change your resources at any time, at any given time. Does that also include like items, TMs, whatever? I'm interested if that counts as well. So they can change it technically. If you buy 2,000 Pokecoins, they can take 1,000 with no issue. Well, guys, this is Niantic for you. This is interesting. I wanted to see more such things, weird things about games doing weird shit. Yeah, that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.